Good afternoon, Mikel.
Hi, Nash.
Any fresh injury concerns after Tuesday?
No, not for now. We have another training session tomorrow, so the ones that are in contention, hopefully we can give us good news.
Yeah, you mentioned on Monday that Martin Odegaard and Jurien Timber were days away. Are you hopeful they'll be available?
Yeah, we have another session tomorrow, so let's see if they can make it.
You've got to pick a 20-man squad for this game, Mikel. Where will that rank among the most challenging and difficult decisions you've had as an Arsenal manager?
Yeah, especially because everybody's been involved in the competition, and in the last day when you have the option to be at Wembley and not to give the opportunity for somebody not to be there, difficult. So yeah, something to think about.
Kepa has started all your cup games in the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. Will he keep his place? Will he start?
We will see how everybody's tomorrow and make the decision.
Okay. Just because Pep says that James Trafford is starting.
Good try.
I'm sure you're aware of that, yeah. Mikel, there's been a feeling among the pundits that this is more than just a final, in that it can lead to maybe bigger and better things for the winners of this game. Do you see it like that? Have you thought about that, or is this just something, an individual game, let's try and get a trophy?
Yeah, that's it. For me, that's it. And all the preparation and all the enjoyment in the next 48 hours to get to Wembley in the best possible way and really prepare and confident that we're going to make it happen is focused on that, basically on that, and that's it.
I'm not sure if you're aware of this stat. You've played for Arsenal at Wembley 4 times. You've managed Arsenal at Wembley 4 times. You were aware of that?
Yeah. Dan just mentioned that, yeah. It's a spoiler, isn't it?
Right, yeah, and you've never lost. What is it about you, this club and that stadium?
I don't know, but let's keep it that way. So make sure that that in a few hours we can do the same.
Just on the man in the other dugout, known very well, Pep Guardiola, you've got a fantastic relationship with him. He says that his relationship with you may have changed over the last 5 or 6 years, compared to 5 or 6 years ago, rather.
He had to, no? He's in Manchester, I'm in London. We are managing 2 different clubs. The feelings from my side hasn't changed at all.
How would you describe how it has changed, though?
Well, the fact that we are never together, we cannot spend time together, and that's important in our relationship. But it's not the most important thing, because what I feel about him and the time that we had together and what he did for me, and the inspiration has been since I was little for me, that's never going to change.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ian Total. Hi Mikel, how are you?
Very good, thank you.
Nervous?
No. Today, no.
Not today, I mean just in general.
No, excited, enthusiastic, positive, yeah.
Victor Gyökeres, 16 goals this season, but is Sunday the real reason why you bought Victor Gyökeres, to get you over the line to win a trophy?
Our players, they have to perform daily at this level, but when it comes to the crucial moments and when it comes to the moment to attack a trophy and take it and bring it home, that's where you need to be players to step up and make the difference, that's clear.
And for your team, I mean, still in with the chance of winning 4 trophies, never been done before, been a fantastic season, but does Sunday become kind of a little bit the moment of truth? You've got this far, now go and the final step and lift the pot.
It's going to be one of the defining moments, because at the end is whether you win the trophy or not, and that's the most important thing once you get to the final. But in order to be there, you have to do a lot of things and earn a lot of things that the team has done so far. So we need to prove that point, that's clear, and that has to be done on the pitch.
Finally, still young, still no grey hairs. You're the apprentice compared to the master in terms of Pep Guardiola, maybe in some people's eyes, but it's Sunday the day the apprentice becomes the master.
It's not about that. It's in this profession, you are constantly learning, constantly evolving. I had the incredible privilege to work with Pep for 4 years and all the staff and an amazing club. And that remains part of me, because it was part of the journey and what I am today as a manager. But that means that you have to continue to evolve and improve constantly.
Good luck on Sunday.
Thank you.
George Coopsey.
Mikel, Arsenal won the FA Cup, you in charge, 2020. It seems a while ago now, but obviously there was no fans there.
It is a while ago.
but just in terms of it, obviously you won that with no fans.
Yeah.
What would it mean to win with all your supporters there? Because loads of them had to miss out, watch it on the TV. So what's your memories of that final, and what's the contrast potentially to what could happen on Sunday?
Let's leave it on Sunday, and then I can probably answer that question better. I've done it when that stadium has been full and been part of that, and it's exceptional. One of the best memories that I have as a player is playing those type of games. So yeah, that's why we are all very excited, because we know what is at stake. We really want it, and we know what it's going to mean for our people as well.
When you say you really want it, is this the start of a new era potentially for Arsenal? Because under Arsene Wenger 20 years ago, they was winning everything, the Invincibles. What you've got on the line and what this team could potentially achieve is quite huge, really. And I just wonder, from your sense, what do you sense that this is the start of something big potentially?
And there is a lot to do to start to talk and use those words, in my opinion. But we are very excited about what we are doing, and we need to continue to make the right strikes and especially performing the right way when those moments come, to achieve what we want, to start to build the momentum that we want as a club.
Just in terms of finals, obviously you made Champions League semi-final last year. How much is it about the players that these finals become habits rather than unusual moments?
Well, this is what we want, and the fact that we are at the end of March and we are in 4 competitions tells a lot about the team. But as I said, now it's about the next step, the next game, and the defining moments. At the end, you need certain moments to go your way, and especially you have to make it happen in the way you approach those games, and make decisions that obviously is going to impact the game.
Thank you.
James, Athletic.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
When you were with Pep at City, I think Carabao Cup was the first trophy you won together in 2018. A few months later, that team won the Premier League and went on to win a great deal, of course. Do you think that experience that they shared at Wembley, winning that final, was important in helping them take that step and go on and do more in future?
Well, certainly yes, because winning always helps, and winning a trophy helps more for sure. It gives you confidence, it gives you the feeling that when you come to that moment, you can do it, and you have enough resources to achieve what you want, and then you still have to do all the other things that team did back on the day.
And just on the goalkeepers, I mean, logic suggests in a cup final you pick your best team, your number one choice. Is the goalkeeper position a little bit distinct from that, because you've got a player there who otherwise they won't play a number of games? Is it a little bit different from the consideration with an outfield player?
Yeah, especially if you talk to the goalkeeping coaches, they are very special, because they are always different. And they are different. It's a position that is very specific. There is a lot of history about that as well, that is very related to how people have made decisions in the past, and when something different happens, it sounds different, at least. But we don't know how it's going to be in 10 or 20 years' time.
Matt Standard.
Hi, Mikel. On that 2018 final when you were Pep's assistant, City obviously won 3-0 that day, but in general, how big, I guess, was the gap between the two teams, the two clubs, and how much work has been required to get Arsenal to where they are now?
Yeah, I think both clubs were in a very different stage in that moment, and you could sense not only in terms of the squad, but in many other situations how far we were, and you just have to see as well what that club won before we were there as well, which was already very successful, and at the time Arsenal was in a different period because of the history as well, and some of the things that happened.
At what stage in the last 6 years since you've been here did you genuinely believe Arsenal, I guess, were in a position where they could compete with Man City for the biggest prizes and bridge that gap?
Well, I mean, all the work that has been done from day one, because that's the level. I mean, just being the Arsenal manager and not believing that you can compete at the highest level in the competitions, I think it cannot be aligned. Then obviously there are a lot of factors, and the fact that I was there, I know, in my opinion, where the gaps were and the difference was. But not accepting it, being that it's part of the reality, and try to change it as quick as possible.
The Carabao Cup final, top of the bill on Sunday afternoon. The Premier League leaders Arsenal taking on second-placed Manchester City, which actually makes it the first League Cup final in history to be played between the top two teams in the country. And I'm delighted to say I'm joined by some very special guests this morning to look ahead to it. Former Arsenal midfielder Paul Merson is here, alongside former Manchester City midfielder Michael Brown. Gents, thank you for getting up bright and early to join us on Sky Sports Breakfast and for bringing the trophy with you. Paul, should we start with Arsenal? Because the quadruple is still on. How important is it that Arsenal get a win in this final on Sunday, quadruple or not?
I think very important. You know, I haven't won a lot of trophies in recent years. I think this is a massive, massive game. I think it's a massive game for both of them. But yeah, for Arsenal to get over the line, to beat a team of Man City's magnitude, you know, with the players they got and being there so many times over the last how many years, it would be massive for Arsenal, and it would be on then. I think this is the hardest one to win at the moment. I do. I think it's the hardest one. I think they'll win the league. They've got a nice FA Cup draw, in my opinion. No disrespect to Southampton. And they should beat Sporting. And then when you get to the semi-final, Barcelona, you get two chances. Do you know what I mean? It's not just a one-off. If Haaland turns up this weekend and he's hot, you know, it's a different game. So for me, I just side with Arsenal, but I'm not going there as confident.
He's celebrating already. That's
I'm not.
Celebrating. We're going to win the league.
Oh, they're going to win the league. They'll win the league. They'll win the league, Michael. Yeah, they'll win the league. No, I've said all along.
Nerves still, isn't there?
No.
We're not sitting on the ropes at the moment. I don't know what else to say.
Well, this is just it, actually, Michael, isn't it? Given that Manchester City's title charge has faltered, they went out of the Champions League in midweek. Coming into this one, is the pressure actually on Pep Guardiola's side?
It always is. I think when you've got Pep, the pressure's on every single game, the delivery of the trophies. I think what he's done with this competition, he's took it seriously since he's gone in there. And you said they've been there a few times, 22 times he's took City to Wembley. 22.
22.
Incredible, yeah.
How many years is that in?
Yeah, well, is it 10? He's on 10 years, isn't he?
Wow.
Which is obviously
That's
semi-finals.
Oh yeah, but it's still extraordinary.
That many
It's
times.
extraordinary.
And it's something he wants to win. Obviously, they're talking of his future, what's next, and he loves this trophy. So it'll be something that will be so important to him. And will there be anything else? Because the Champions League, the league looks like it's drifting away, and then a difficult FA Cup tie. So the pressure is all on Manchester City.
Bukayo was an unused substitute in 2020 when Arsenal last lifted a major trophy. Can being a key player in a major final help take you to another level in the opinions of people that are maybe on the fence about him a little bit?
Yeah, I think so. You know, he said to me in the interview, he's there to win trophies. He's got to win trophies. You'll be remembered as for winning trophies. That's what you're remembered for at football clubs. And you know, he's done everything so far, but just get over the line like the rest of the team. But they have been so consistent. You know, it's a different game for him. He's played in European champion, you know, for England in finals and semi-finals. But it's so different when you're playing for your club that you've been at since you were 8 years of age, and you're playing at Wembley. And you know, there's not a player that will turn the telly on Sunday afternoon and not wish they were there playing in that game. It's the ultimate. That give me. I think it was 750 games. That give me one of my biggest days in my footballing career. Scoring in the Carabao Cup final for Arsenal it just doesn't get any bigger. Do you know what I mean? I think Saka will be like, he'll be nervous. He will be nervous. You know, he just will. He's been there so long, and they're that close away, but they could be that far away.
They're looking good, though, Merson.
Yeah, they're a team.
Look at their squad and how hard they are to beat.
Yeah.
He's obviously a shining star, but do you feel like there will be a little bit of nerves in there still because of the pressure to deliver a trophy, even on the manager, you would think? Oh,
100%. Even though they've played big games for their countries, a lot of these players, it's different because this is week in, week out. You know, they've worked for this for last 3, 4, 5 years, some of them. The nerves will hit them. It will hit them coming down Wembley Way. The fans are there, and you know, Arsenal have not been there every year. Man City have been there every year. You know, they'll know when they go to bed Saturday night. It's just a different feeling, you know. For me, I don't know what would you rather, Mike? Was a Man City man? Do you want it to be a gung ho end-to-end football match, or do you want it to be a tight and keep it tight game?
We were just discussing that before because obviously Mikel Arteta, this Arsenal side, who can be very rigid, can sit in and wait, and then Pep obviously wants control, but he knows that'll suit Arsenal, that they can just sit, wait, and delay. So he might have to say at some point, we're going to open it up, we're going to make it a little bit more exciting. He doesn't fully like that. But to have the two two teams in first and second to be in this full house. It's a brilliant occasion. Do you know, like the cup? I just think it's magical from when it starts off, when Grimsby beat like Manchester United. Is it 24, 25 penalties or something? You know, so I just think the cup is amazing. I think it's underestimated at times. Do you know, for what it brings, as you said.
Yeah,
winning it.
It would give me one of my best football memories, without a doubt.
As players and fans, I think, you know, look at Newcastle.
Yeah.
Amazing scenes.
Exactly. I mean, it's that sort of that final mentality as well, isn't it? And these sort of one-off games. Manchester City have lost their last two major finals, both of them in the FA Cup, 2024 against Manchester United, 2025 against Crystal Palace. Is that a concern going into this? Can we read too much into that? Should we read much into that?
So I'm going to cause a little bit. The Manchester United one, I think, was a sort of a freebie for Manchester United, because there was a few celebrations, and maybe they just sort of gone, we've done everything, took the eye off the ball slightly for 2 or 3 days before it, and they got done. But Palace, you know, full credit to him. You felt like there was something there, and for them to go and do it. But you know, it is one of those situations where you do find yourself where you sort of going, you're not fluid, they're not playing as well, there's a few changes in the team, shining players like Phil Foden, what a day for him with the England squad. Can he get in and around it? And Erling Haaland's got a little bit quiet, but sometimes that's a good thing, when you'll probably think, right, he's not going to be there, and he comes.
Sometimes that's when he's most dangerous, isn't it? There's been so much talk, Merson, hasn't there, about Arsenal's style of play this season in every competition. Will any of the fans care, though, if they win 1-0 via a set piece on Sunday?
No, 100% not. 100% not. You know, when you pick that trophy up, whatever trophy it may be at the end of the season, it just says winner on the back. It doesn't say entertainer or you're boring or you're this and that. It's winner. It's a grind, week in, week out. You know, you've got to perform. Sometimes you have to get over the line. Sometimes they've been amazing at the start of the season, September, October. This is the problem. People never remember the start of the season. You should always, when people used to say to me, always play well last 25 minutes. That's all the fans remember.
Are you surprised that they get criticism for it? Because of the position they're in, all the trophies, and then they're sort of saying, well, oh, look at Arsenal, it's boring. It's not entertaining. Could they play different? Is he a little bit too negative? He's in the right position.
I think so. I'd rather this, Arsenal winning every week like that, playing like the way they are, than being one of them teams that everybody goes, I love watching Arsenal play. I love watching Arsenal, but they don't win anything. Yeah. They keep on getting beat and opening games up. That was what was happening at Arsenal 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. Now people don't like Arsenal. Like no one liked Man United and no one liked Man City, because they kept on winning football matches. You know, the teams that keep on losing 4-3 and 5-2 and 6-4, everybody goes, oh, I love watching. Like, I used to love watching Angie's team at Tottenham. I used to love it. I'm not a Tottenham man, but I love watching them.
No, you're not a Tottenham man. Who knew?
But you've got entertainment. Yeah, you've got entertainment, and that's what. And people love watching them. But if they kept on winning every week, people want to watch them.
Well, that's just it, isn't it, as well? And it's very easy to criticise those at the top when you can't find a way to stop them. Michael, you mentioned Erling Haaland and how he has been quiet recently. He did score midweek. Does that sort of set him up a little bit? Will that maybe get him going after a relatively poor start to the year? And I use that sort of in quote marks. It's just by his
please be careful with that, because you know, everyone sort of said if he has a little patch in it, and it's because of what he's done so far. You expect him to score a hat-trick every single week, and I think that is the danger. I think what's really interesting here is who he's coming up against. It's Arsenal too. I think it's got a little bit of spice. I think it'll suit Arsenal if City don't open it up a little bit quicker, don't try and get in behind with some diagonal passes and always in front of them. But there's a little needle there, and I think Erling Haaland will be looking to try and get the better of it, which adds more to it, doesn't it? Because we've not really seen Erling rattled too much. But with this Arsenal, you know, you see it, can't you? With the two centre-backs. It sets it up nicely, actually.
Do you think any of these guys would get in the current Arsenal side, Michael?
Would they get in? I mean, on form, yes, you would say, wouldn't you? Aubameyang, if he was playing as well as he could. I mean, Granit Xhaka, we've seen a different side of it. It's tough, isn't it? There's all ability, but really as a group of players, the problem was that, you know, certainly with ability, but the balance wasn't necessarily right, was it, Merson?
Well, take away the front. Wow. Done well to get to the final, didn't it? At back three. Yeah, but I don't. Yeah, I mean, Aubameyang.
Wilshere was unplayable.
Yeah, Wilshere. Oh yeah, 100%. Him and Ozil were world. You know, Ozil was world class at one stage. You know, Wilshere was one of the best young prospects ever, and Aubameyang could play on his day when he was at his best. Would they get in now?
It's that forward line still for
Yeah,
Arsenal.
it's the
where you're
forward
going,
line,
right, because
yeah.
of the number 9. You're sort of going right. Who is still the?
Yeah.
Don't
But
have
that
to
front
solve the
three, that
problem,
front
you know?
three is a good front three. But you know, would you? Yeah, it's changed now. The game's changed in that way where the two there weren't the quickest two, but they had the best brains in Ozil and Wiltshire. You know, now there's a lot of pace down the outsides, isn't there? You know, so yeah, it would have been interesting.
Time to put you both on the spot now. Prediction, please.
Prediction. I mean, for Pep to win five times it'll be amazing. The record again, another record for Pep. So I feel it's going to be really, really tough. Arsenal's slight favourites, but I've got to go with it. It might be. I was saying to Merson before, it's just a tough one which way it's going to go. But I'm going to go towards 2-1 to City.
I'd have been very surprised if you'd backed Arsenal there.
Yeah, no,
Be honest, you've got to be honest sometimes. You don't feel like it's
I think it's a really tight game. I really think this is even, Stephen. I think it's
you were saying Man City as well.
a flick, a flick of a coin.
Don't you
I'm
change your mind now.
going Arsenal
Watch him
by
change
the odd
his
goal,
mind.
by the odd goal, and I hope it's a thriller. I don't think we will get a thriller. I think if we get an early goal, it might open it
Extra
up. But
time?
I think it could be a long one.
Yeah.
Could be a long one.
Week between Arsenal and Manchester City to see who can lift the first trophy of the season, the first of potentially many. It's the Carabao Cup final on Sunday, and our crew is out there. Kickoff is set for 12:30 p.m. Eastern, with coverage starting an hour ahead. Now, for the first time since 1978, the top two teams in the Prem are going head-to-head in a League Cup final. So, Tony, as we look to this matchup, who do you think is under more pressure when you look at it from the manager perspective?
I think Mikel Arteta is under more pressure, right? This is the year of Arsenal. This is the year that they've got an opportunity to win multiple competitions. Pep Guardiola has won this competition. He's won other things. You could make that argument. You could make the argument that this might be the only thing that Pep Guardiola has a chance to win, right? Now that they've gotten knocked out of Champions League. I happen to think that the Premier League race is over, although that could change in April. But
don't throw that jinx out there.
Yeah, I don't want to jinx my Arsenal friends over here. But I would say Mikel Arteta, because he's got to put a trophy in the cabinet. I know he's had, the Community Shield back in the day.
FA Cup.
FA Cup early on, right?
Yeah.
So, but I think this is finally his team. This is what he built in the way that he wants to build it. So I think he's probably the one for me.
Psychologically, Jeff, as you look into this, do you think Mikel Arteta is going into this, I want to beat my mentor. I want to beat the guy that I used to work with?
No, he just wants a trophy, and it's not his mentor, they are Arsenal's nemesis this season. I agree with Tony, there is more pressure on Pep because he's won this trophy multiple times. He's won everything. If Pep leaves Man City, if he doesn't win this Carabao, it's not going to spoil his legacy.
You said more pressure on Arteta.
I think you meant Arteta.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Arteta, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
There is more pressure on Arteta. I agree with Tony with that. Also, for the psychological reasons, this is a statement. This match on Sunday is almost not about the Carabao Cup. It's not about who wins it. It's laying down a marker for the remainder of the season. It's these two head-to-head in the Premier League. They could face each other in the FA Cup as well. This, psychologically, and I guarantee you, in today's press conferences, both managers will say it has nothing to do whatsoever with the remaining Premier League. The winning manager on Sunday, when asked about what this does for you psychologically in the Premier League, said, well, yes, it gives us an advantage because we know we can beat them, we play in a few weeks' time. So we're going to get all of that posturing. I think it's huge for the remainder of the season.
Charlie, let's take a look at the starting 11 for both sides. One of the first matchups that I want to look at here, Declan Rice and Rodri here. What are you expecting to see from that matchup there?
Right now, Rodri is still in the form of recovering his Ballon d'Or form. This is not the Rodri that we saw when they won the treble. Declan Rice is arguably the most complete player in the Premier League. If Arsenal are able to secure the Premier League title, I think he's your player of the season. That's how important and consistent Declan Rice has been for this Arsenal squad, doing all the dirty work, what he's able to provide. But both of these players set the tone for their clubs in the midfield. So I fully expect Declan Rice to be all over the pitch, as well as Rodri being the guy that's responsible for build-up with Manchester City.
Yeah. Let's look back at the starting 11. Any other matchups that you guys are looking at on the field for this one?
Well, when you look at that starting 11, my eyes are immediately drawn on this side. This guy here, he's having his moment. It's taken a while, but he's had his opportunity because of the injuries to Martin Odegaard. But Ebre Eze right now is in superb form, absolutely superb form. And also, I think we saw his best game the other day for a long, long time. The second against.
Do you remember the first matchup when they played Manchester City?
Yeah.
At home, it was 1-1, and Victor Gyökeres had 22 touches in the game.
Yeah.
Looked like a ghost, no impact. People were like, it already indicating he's going to be a flop.
Yeah.
He's got 16 goals in all competitions right now. He's in a different mode right now. You feel that this could be the opportunity for him to cement himself as, hey, this is the reason why they purchased me from Sporting. I am the guy that can lead this team to glory.
This is what they brought him here for, to get him to the next level.
The graphic isn't quite correct though, because just down here is Max Dowman, and if they need him,
he's ready to
That's
go.
the guy.
sensation comes on, changes the game.
How about Erling Haaland, Tony? This is a guy where he's had some trouble scoring lately, but nobody is worried about him because it really just takes 1 second for him to turn back on.
Yeah, I think when you look at the back line of Arsenal, there are not too many guys in the Premier League that can wrestle, right, with those two big monsters in the back, right? And this is one of the guys that when it becomes a wrestling match, when it becomes very, very physical, he's one of the guys that could match up with Sullivan and Gabriel, right? So that's what you get. The other thing he can do, he can run in behind, right? Now, they don't give you a lot of space to run in behind. He's going to be vitally important, but he has had some success.
Yeah, I would add, in Wembley, out of the last 5 matches that Arsenal have played Manchester City, 4 of them have gone in favor of Arsenal. One, which was the EFL Cup final in 2018, went in favor of Manchester City, which was a 3-0 win. I just feel that, to your point, Arsenal psychologically feel that we're ready to overtake the Premier League and go on this run, and they'll need to win this game in order to do that.
Psychologically, going into this game, cruise through the Champions League, knocked out, no wins in the last 3 games.
And unbeaten in 14, the last 14 in all competitions.
For the season. This is not pre-season, this is right now. Declan Rice, number 1, explain.
Do I need to?
Well, some people might.
do I really need to? He could get Ballon d'Or this year.
How much between Declan and Bruno for 1 and 2?
Listen, Bruno's been fantastic. I think the reason why I've gone with Declan up there is because he could potentially win the league. He could potentially win a quadruple. He could potentially go to the World Cup and then be involved in a World Cup win for the national team. So for me, he's on a Ballon d'Or list. He's high on that as well. I mean, the only other one I will go with there is, by the way, he's in Bundesliga. It's Kane. Ballon d'Or list for me. But Bruno Fernandes, done fantastic. I think he's been a consistent performer at Man United this season. Even when they were struggling, he was always up there. Now he's playing out of his skin, assists, goals. He's unbelievable. For me, listen, when we talk about Bruno Fernandes, he's not as good as Kevin De Bruyne, in my opinion, but he's in the same conversation, for sure.
Ekitike number 3?
Ekitike is number 3 because he's come in, it's his first season. There was, he came with a big price tag. He's gone to Liverpool. He's performed really well, scored goals. And personally, I like him. He's such a complete player when I see him play. He gets me out my seat.
So you still had Erling Haaland on the list, but at number 10?
Yes, token gesture.
Were you tempted to take him out the top 10 completely?
There's a conversation for it. There is a conversation because as much as he started the season really, really well, he was on fire. One goal in open play in the last 12 Premier League games, 3 goals altogether. That's not good enough that's not good enough. So I can't say that he's been one of the best and he can be further up there. There's no doubt about it.
But you asked a question earlier on in the show, and it would be crazy, wouldn't it, if we had the Golden Boot winner when it comes to the Premier League. And Igor Thiago might have a little say in the games that remain.
If they play one up front, he's not going to be in it.
But the Golden Boot winner maybe not getting in the team of the season would be a story.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I think that to say that, listen, he's scored goals, and I always say there are not many. The only better goal scorer out there is Kane, probably. As in just goal scorer, but Kane has other things to his game as well. But when I look at Haaland, he hasn't had a great year this year, calendar year.
And when you talk about Haaland, what about Igor Thiago? Because 19 goals, he wasn't on the Sky Experts list.
No, he wasn't. But when you look at his, he had a bit of a dry patch. I think where he didn't go for maybe 3 or 4 games, but he's been consistent. He's at Brentford. he's overperforming. His XG would be like he's outperforming his XG because he's at Brentford. The expectation, he's leading the line. He's difficult. He gets hold of the ball. I think he's done fantastically well. There's a conversation I could have put him number 3. Put it that way.
Yeah.
That's how good he's been this season. So for me,
and in the Brazil squad as well, Igor Thiago.
Exactly. That says it all. That says it all. He's in the Brazil squad.
Word on David Raya.
David Raya is one of the best keepers in the world. He has to be in there. Big performances. He's part of a back line that is one of the best in the world. Huge saves this season. Great with his feet. Comes and collects crosses. He's fantastic. João Pedro. As much as Chelsea have been really inconsistent, I think he's had a good season himself. Good goals, important goals, leading the line. I don't think it's a natural position. I don't think he's a number 9, but he's done really well. Semenyo, consistent. Bournemouth, gone to Man City, big price tag, expectation. He's done the same thing. And then Gabriel, arguably the best centre-back in the world.
Yeah, well, if you disagree with Declan Rice, you know where to find